Good evening, and welcome to Neutral News, the program that observes the gentle, inexorable decay of all things and says, well, quite. We have a developing story tonight from the intellectual heart of the nation, a story of loss, of discovery, and of profound, soul-crushing administrative inertia. We are, of course, talking about the Cambridge Streetlamps. A city famed for producing some of the world's greatest minds is currently unable to screw a lamppost back into the pavement. For more on this gripping saga of civic paralysis, we go to our correspondent, Susan. Susan.
Neil, the situation on Sturton Street in Cambridge remains one of carefully managed yet palpable tension. I can confirm that the two unique, so-called Quirky street lamps, which were stolen earlier this year in a move that shook the local street furniture community to its core, have, since their recovery in a police raid, not been reinstalled. They exist, Neil, but they do not illuminate. They are, for all intents and purposes, lamps in limbo.
Lamps in limbo. A truly poetic and frankly tragic state of being. Let us delve into the specifics, Susan, for the benefit of our viewers who may not be familiar with the vanguard of Eastern England's municipal lighting scene. What precisely elevates these lamps from mere posts of utility to the lofty status of quirky?
The quirkiness, Neil, is a matter of some debate among connoisseurs, but it is generally understood to stem from the design, which deviates from the council-approved standard luminary column Model C47B. These lamps feature more intricate ironwork, a hexagonal lantern casing, and a finial that has been described in local heritage documents as jaunty. They are, in essence, about 7% more interesting to look at than a normal lamppost.
7%. A figure of staggering whimsy. It's amazing a civil disturbance didn't break out when they were first purloined. So these national treasures were stolen, and then, in a rare victory for law and order, they were found. One might imagine a ticker-tape parade down King's Parade, the lamps held aloft by cheering residents. But that is not what happened, is it, Susan?
That is not what happened, Neil. Following their recovery, the lamps were taken into what has been described as secure council storage. Their exact location is a closely guarded secret, though a source suggests they are being held in a depot near the Milton Road Park and Ride. They are safe, they are accounted for, they are simply not in the ground, fulfilling their primary function of holding a light bulb approximately 12 feet above the pavement.
So the rate-paying public of Cambridge is in the bizarre philosophical position of knowing their lamps are safe, but they are still in the dark. It's a Schrodinger's cat situation, but with civic ironmongery. What has the official explanation been for this reinstallational hiatus?
The Council's official statement cites the need for a full structural and safety assessment before the lamps can be returned to their rightful homes. The concern appears to be that the trauma of the theft and recovery may have compromised their structural integrity. They are in effect being treated as victims of crime, perhaps undergoing some form of counseling before they are deemed emotionally and physically fit to face the public again.
A safety assessment for a cast-iron pole. One imagines a team of engineers in white coats tapping the lamppost with a small hammer and asking it to read the top line of an eye chart. Has there been any indication of a timeline for this therapeutic process?
There has not, Neil. The when is the great unknown in this equation. Our research indicates that the standard procedure for reinstalling a recovered quirky street lamp involves the formation of a subcommittee. The subcommittee must then approve a contractor who will then conduct a risk assessment, which must then be signed off by the heritage officer, a process that can and historically has taken anywhere between 6 months and the next geological epoch.
It's the sheer breathtaking efficiency of it all that leaves one speechless. What has the mood been like on the street itself, the aptly named Sturton Street? Has the absence of this 7% increase in visual interest led to a measurable decline in public morale?
The mood is one of quiet resignation, Neil.
Residents continue to go about their daily business, but under the oppressive glare of the council's temporary and distinctly non-quirky lighting solutions. One resident described the replacements as having all the personality of a text form. There is a palpable sense that while life goes on, it does so with a little less jaunty fenial charm.
It's the death of romance by 1,000 bureaucratic cuts. Let's talk about the criminal aspect for a moment. Have there been any insight into the motive for the original theft? Are we witnessing the dawn of a new criminal underworld, a black market for moderately interesting civic amenities?
That remains the most troubling aspect of this case, Neil. The working theory is that the lamps were stolen for order for a private collector, someone with a passion for niche in fish capture. It suggests the existence of a shadowy figure, perhaps sitting in a high-back leather chair stroking a white cat and admiring a stolen Victorian postbox in the corner of the room. The police have confirmed they are following several leads, but as of yet no Mr. Big of the whimsical ironwork trade has been apprehended.
It's a chilling thought. Today, a quirky lamppost. Tomorrow, a particularly well-preserved cobblestone or a Grade 2 listed park bench. Susan, before we let you go, is there any light, if you'll pardon the expression, at the end of this tunnel? Is there any hope on the horizon for the residents of Sturton Street?
There is a glimmer, Neil. A very faint one. A council source who wished to remain anonymous has confirmed that the Lamppost situation has been added to the agenda for the next meeting of the Parish Liaison and Environmental Committee. They will not be discussing the reinstallation itself, of course. They will be discussing the formation of the exploratory subcommittee to begin the process. The meeting is scheduled for next spring.
Spring. So, for the foreseeable future, the Cambridge 2 remain in protective custody, recovered but not free. A monument to procedure over purpose. A reminder that in modern Britain, possession is 9/10 of the law, but the other 10th is paperwork, and it is infinitely more powerful. Thank you, Susan, for that truly illuminating report. That is all we have time for. Good night.